element of the ANDE conference is probably the connections. In many conferences people come and they expect to listen and to sort of be a consumer of information, but in ANDE everyone is contributing to the conversation and expected to show up and share their perspective and be heard. And it creates a lot of genuine connection. And I think that's why people leave not just with new information, but new relationships, potential collaborations, and I think a new energy for the work that they do.
So I think ANDE's lasting value, as I shared before, is the fact that it brings together the world's best minds who are trying to grapple with the idea of making entrepreneurship possible for more people. It really pushes the boundaries in terms of what we think is possible. It aids innovation, innovative thinking, sharing of insights, so that we don't just concentrate the impact in one part of the world, but we can really see a ripple effect throughout the world. And I think the lasting value is that ANDE is this coordinating body that has really grown in its credibility, and a lot of people trust the brand, and partnering with ANDE also allows a lot of organizations and institutions to further their own impact as well.
Yeah, what I enjoy most about the annual conference is that it's a global event. So sometimes we are very used to the regional conference. Everybody in the ecosystems are more or less used to of what others are doing. But when you are exposed to members of Asia, Africa, Europe, North America, it's very, very, important for us, to learn what others are doing in other regions. So it's a very, very nice space to learn about what's happening.
The key factors for me is the ability to collaborate with peers, to learn from one another, to be able to engage with other intermediaries in the global south that are focusing on supporting and growing small and growing businesses. I think that factor of cross-pollination becomes quite important when the goal is to be able to, for instance, eradicate poverty or create opportunities for small businesses and create growth opportunities.
ANDE's a great place to come and meet new people, but also to see the same people year after year. It's a real opportunity to deepen relationships with folks that I've met over the last 12 years I've been coming to ANDE. And I think having ANDE in Bangkok, or last year we were in Accra, I think that really helps us to see new contexts and to understand how our entrepreneurial ecosystems are similar and different in each part of the world.
Most of the sessions I attended were actually around climate transition and ESG. I would say there is quite a bit of work. We need to get busy. We need to get busy because we all realize how important and urgent that transition is. So what I'm getting out of the session is, yes, we all agree that it's urgent and important. The metrics, the standards, how we roll them out, is still something that's being worked out, and we need to collectively make sure that we push it forward.
One of my favorite sessions was one that I got to lead with the Miller Center and with Village Capital, and we were talking about the state of blended finance. And I think what was great about that session was moving beyond just what are our pain points in the ecosystem, but trying to drive to what some of the solutions could be, and importantly, what the messaging is, to try to make sure that we're bringing the conversation outside of this great group of connected people at ANDE into the broader world. So I'm hopeful that that will lead to better advocacy and more conversations about why it's so important to work with small and growing businesses.
So during our session, we focused on women empowerment. We did a screening of a docu-series that we filmed in South Africa called She Builds. And it was really following the challenges that women-owned businesses have in male-dominated industries, specifically in the property environment. So when we're looking at the support of women, is being able to ensure that we align the development support to their needs as well, but also to ensure that in the work environment, in the business environment, that we create allies through men to support women to break through those glass ceilings, to break through the boardrooms in order for them to have their voice in there. So being more cognizant around how are we creating those voices and spaces for women to participate.
One thing that I'm really passionate about is we must ensure that entrepreneurship is not just an elite activity, where a single entrepreneur is given a microphone and a stage to scale a single impactful intervention. That is not a path to economic inclusion or self-sustaining broad-based economic growth. Instead, we have to push for a sophisticated vision of ecosystem-oriented investment that builds institutions' capacity to serve not just a single venture, but to organize talent and accumulate the capacity to serve an entire ecosystem that will benefit hundreds or thousands of entrepreneurs to come.
The reason why our work is important is because we are focused on improving the ecosystem conditions that allow the entrepreneurship journey to really be possible for more and more people.
We aim to strengthen the capacities of small business in the region because, as we all in ANDE, we believe that they are very important vehicles to development for any other region, and Latin America is not the exception.
I think we, as a world, are fighting such big challenges that it can be overwhelming. To me, inspiration comes from agency, from a feeling that you actually have something actionable that you can do. I would hope that participants leave with even one actionable insight, right, across the vast myriad of topics that we actually have here. If they can leave with one actionable insight, I think that would have been successful. That's the beauty of not having a 1,000-person conference, is that we can do that because these are 250 participants that are divided across the chapters. So we can then work with each of those actionable insights to move things along as fast as we can.